Hello, artists. Welcome back to the Art Life Conversations podcast. I am artist, teacher, coach, mentor, and your podcast host, Kelly Folsom. I am so excited to be here again with all of you today. Can you believe it's podcast number 7, episode number 7? And thank you all so much to all of you who have been sending me amazing messages and comments. It means so much to me. And also just a friendly reminder that if there's any topic that anything that you struggle with as an artist, any topic that you would like me to share my experience with or my viewpoints on, or just to, explore and discuss, please send those ideas and thoughts to me at info@artlifewithkelly, and it's KELLI.com, and in the subject line just put podcast topic. And I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the podcasts I've done already, and also just any other topics or ideas or anything like that you want to share with me would be fabulous. So today, episode number 7, I'm going to be talking about something that is it's a really big topic, and we could dive into all of the nitty-gritty details of it over the course of, more podcasts, because it is such a big topic and impacts artists in, I think, a lot of negative ways. And that topic is stop trying to fit into the artist mold, right? So today I'm just going to share with you my experience about this, and just a little bit of some negative impact that it's had on me in my life. So this idea of the artist mold and what an artist is supposed to look like, sound like, be like, how they're supposed to paint, how they're supposed to create, what their studio is supposed to be like, once I became an artist, I have been shocked ever since at all of these different molds that different art groups and different artists have created for other artists. And if you don't fit into them, then you must not really be a real artist. And sometimes it just feels like high school all over again. Like all the popular kids are like, hey, you're not like me, you don't fit in, And I really think that this is so detrimental, because I feel like all of us have very unique points of view. Just because we're an artist doesn't mean that we're all exactly the same. We all dress differently. We all have different perceptions about what it means to be an artist and what that means to us. And I find that whenever we hide who we are, or hide or lie about who we are and try to change who we are in order to fit in with other people, with other artists, I found that it is just it's disempowering, right? So it really takes away your power. Anytime that we lie, we lose power. We lose power every time we lie. So it's really a challenge sometimes, because we really want to fit in. We want to believe that we are real artists and that we fit in with the other artists. But I would never, I never want anybody to sacrifice the truth of who they are just to, fit in. Because I don't think that benefits anybody. I think whenever you are truly authentic, 100% truly authentically yourself in all ways, then that is really where your true power comes from. And that is when you are able to live a bigger and better life for yourself, and also have a really great impact on other people too, because everybody recognizes authenticity. Everybody recognizes the truth, and they admire it, and they aspire to be that. And so when you are really genuinely, truly yourself and authentic, you are, even if other people are not exactly like you are, maybe they have a different personality or whatever, but you are empowering them as well to be authentic. So I feel like when we are our authentic selves, we are able to have a better impact in our relationships, in our families, in our communities, and on other artists, because I think a lot of artists get imprisoned by these, the artist mold, and everybody has a different idea about what that mold is. That's kind of the funny thing about molds, is like every little different art bubble and art group you go into, they have a whole different definition of what it means to be an artist. And so to me, that tells me that that's, just false. Like, it's false assumptions, it's false identities, it's stereotypes and things like that. And that just, it doesn't work. I just don't think it works. So I'm going to challenge all of you. I'm going to share some of my personal experience with you just in a couple of different areas. And I want to challenge all of you to be 100% truly yourself, love yourself wholeheartedly, accept who you are as an artist. And here's the deal. The bottom line is, if you are making art, guess what, my friend? You are an artist. That is the only requirement, is that you're actually creating some art, and therefore you are an artist. And why can't you be an artist and have a full-time job? Like, I've seen that happen with a lot of artists that I work with online, is that maybe because they have a full-time job, they don't really feel like they are truly, genuinely artists. And so, for example, whenever they meet people, they tell people, oh, who they are is their job. And I think especially in America, we kind of really rely on our explanation of ourselves as our job, right? And it's just really so sad, because they have this whole other layer to them. The fact that they love to create, that they are artists, they have this whole other side to them that people are missing out on and not getting to know. And the fact that they're not really showcasing that or telling other people that means that they don't really fully get to enjoy the benefits of that part of their life either. So so I just want to point that out. Like, if you make art, you are an artist, period. Point blank. That's all that is required, right? And so it's really just a matter of you accepting that you are an artist, acknowledging it, telling people that, hey, I might be a secretary, but I'm also an artist. In the evenings I paint and draw, or the weekends I paint and draw. Also, this idea that you have to qualify what kind of artist you are, right? Like, oh, I'm just a hobby artist. I just do it for fun, Like, I don't deserve that Van Gogh level label of artist, or whoever that is, Michelangelo or Rembrandt or whatever. Those are the real artists. I'm not a real artist, So all that kind of stuff, I think, just you really need to watch out for, because it's just limiting. It limits you, and it also limits everybody around you and minimizes the impact that you can have. So I've had some pretty funny experiences since I got started as an artist, in terms of these molds trying to be put on me as an artist, and it's always been super uncomfortable and frustrating, and I just refuse to step into anybody else's mold of what they think a real artist is. And so one of them for me has just been like how I look, my appearance. It has been amazing to me that, just a side note, just as a female, it's like my whole life there's been so much attention put on my appearance, which I think is ridiculous, as if that's the only valuable thing about being a woman or a female. But when I went to art school, I really thought that was not going to be any part of it, that your appearance was not important. What was important was you were an artist and you were making art. And so when I finally got to art school, I thought, wow, this is really where I'm going to fit in and I'm going to be accepted and I've found my tribe and I belong, automatically, just because we all are making art. And one of the first things that started being brought up immediately was comments about how I dressed, my appearance. I went to art college in Connecticut, and of course I'm a Texas, Oklahoma girl. And if you don't know, Texas girls, it's like we're brought up to, kind of that Southern belle type of thing, like wearing makeup and doing your hair and all that good stuff. And in Connecticut, a lot of the women do not dress like that, do not do their hair like that, much more natural, much more laid back, which is totally cool. Like that's them, But so immediately it was like, oh, this kind of clash of who is this young woman who is, walking in dressed really nicely to art class. Like, what? That's dumb. Why are you wearing nice clothes to art class? You're going to get paint on them. So immediately I started getting comments about this. And, for me, that's just part of who I am. I like to dress nice. I like to look nice. One of my mottos, and it's been that way since I was a little kid, So one of my mottos has always been, if you look good, you feel good, and you do good. And I just love that. I love that. I love that the way that I dress can express how I feel about myself. It really helps me show up in a more powerful way, because how I dress is true and authentic to me. And it doesn't have to be, I'm not telling other people to dress that way, right? So immediately in art school, I was kind of getting knocked down a notch with other. So even the female instructors, were calling me, making up nicknames for me, like Kelly Jean Beauty Queen was one of them. One of the female art history instructors was like very belittling to me, almost like I couldn't be intelligent if I also was an attractive female, as if I have any control whatsoever over being attractive or not attractive. So weird. Anyways, and sometimes that stuff, it is just painful, and we do want to fit in, we want to be accepted, and we also want to be seen for more than just that outer appearance, and that, again, at the same time, I would be like, well, why can't I feel beautiful and look nice and also be smart and creative and talented, So there's like these weird, it was just such a weird mold to try to fit into. And I just refused to, play less than me. For me, playing full out means that I'm honoring every part of myself, and that includes taking care of myself physically, and that I dress the way that I love to dress. And and so I'm not going to sacrifice that in myself in order to fit in with anybody else, or to try to fit what they think a real artist is like. So there's just a lot of stuff like that, and that's just one very small example, right? Even, I've had lots of comments from other artists about the studios that I work in. My studios always look nice. Like, I just prefer working in a beautiful environment. That feels so good to me. And I feel more inspired. Like, if my environment is dirty and cluttered and there's like paint all over everything, I don't feel good showing up to do a painting in paint covered overalls. It's just not me, and if somebody else, if that's what, really gets them, they feel great in that and they do their best work wearing that, there is no judgment from me. Like, you do you. Oh my gosh. Why are these weird little things down to, our studios? Well, I couldn't paint, I've had comments from other artists, well, I couldn't paint in there in your studio because it's too nice. I would be too scared to mess things up. And that's fine. It's like, if you need like chaos, if you need a dirty room, clutter everywhere to be creative in, that's what works for you. So I just find it really, really interesting how many of these weird artistic molds that people try to put on one another. And again, I think they're just stereotypes. I'm sure every mold is different, but these are just some of the ones that I've experienced over the years. I remember, after I got out of art college, I had moved back home to Oklahoma, and I had gotten a painting into the Oil Painters of America National Exhibition. It was in Dallas, Texas, and so it was only about 4 hours away from where I lived in Oklahoma. And so I was so excited because at the time I didn't have, a lot of money to travel. And so I thought, great, this show, I've been entering the OPA show since my senior year in art college in 2011. And this was going to be the first show that I was actually going to be able to attend because I could drive to it. So I was super stoked to go to this, right? And being me, I'm like, and I had a painting in the show, and I was so proud of the painting I had in the show. It was a figurative piece. I ended up actually winning a small award for it that night, which was like really a shocker to me. But I was just so jazzed up, and because I'm me, and what really jazzes me up even more is dressing nice. So I put on a nice dress, did my hair, I've got the heels on, yeah. To me, that feels very honoring to myself and to my artwork, and also very respectful and honoring to the people I'm about to go meet, just to look nice, like just to be aesthetically pleasing all the way around. I love it. That's just me. So I go to this show, and I'm so excited to meet all of these artists who I've been following their work for a really long time. And I meet this one female artist. I really liked her work. And I was so excited whenever I met her, and I just told her, oh my gosh, I really love your work. I've been following your work for a long time. I'm Kelly Folsom, and she just looked me up and down and was like really awkward acting, and she said, oh, are you an artist? And I said, yeah, I'm an artist. And then she waited a while, and she said, oh, are you in the show? And I said, yeah, I'm in this. I have a piece in the show, and I pointed to the painting, and then she goes, oh, okay, well, I was just wondering because you look like a gallery attendant. And I was like, okay, what the heck does that have to do with anything? Like, because I have a dress on, I don't look like an artist. I don't fit into your mold of what an artist is supposed to look like. So it was really an awkward moment. And I don't share this to play the victim. Obviously things like that, little jabs, that people take are always, just crap. And always feel bad, always uncomfortable. And we all do that from time to time. We all say dumb things and stick our foot in our mouth. So that's fine, So I'm not sharing this with you to be like, oh, poor, pitiful me, people were picking on me. But more as like a bigger message of watch out for these molds. And both the molds that you put on yourself as an artist, and the molds that other people want to put on you as well, because there's no one way to be an artist. Actually, there is only one way to be an artist, and that is to be 100% you, authentically you. And you have the opportunity, we all have the opportunity to bring everything that is true about us into our art life. And I think that that's really where the true power and true strength lies, is whenever all of these things come together and coalesce in 100% authenticity in our art life, as artists. So I just want to leave you all with that. My intention with this podcast, is not to be going, oh, shame on them for what they're trying to do, putting people down or putting people in a box or whatever. I'm just trying to bring awareness to all of us because, again, I feel like, we really need artists in this life. And if artists are feeling like they don't belong to the clique or to the club or whatever, and they're feeling like they have to lie about who they are or can't really step into themselves 100% as an artist, then I just see that is no good for the world, and young artists coming up, children, who love making art, teenagers, adults, everybody, we all need to know that we can be an artist without being like this struggling, suffering, cut off our ears, outlandish, human beings. That was another comment I always got in art school, was like, your art is so good, but you're just so normal. And I would be like, okay, well, I don't really know. What am I supposed to say back to that? Thank you, I guess, that my art is so good. And thank you, I guess, that I'm normal. What am I supposed to be like? Like a total weirdo, and what is a weirdo anyway? So none of it ever really made sense to me. And all I cared about was like making art that I loved and that I wanted to bring into the world, hopefully to help make the world a better place, So again, I just want to encourage all of you as we are leaving here from this podcast. I hope that this has been helpful to you. And I hope that all of you, that maybe this just raises awareness around this idea of the artist molds that sometimes we believe them, we try to act them out in our life, we try to conform to them. And I just want to encourage all of you to take some time to think about any areas where you might be doing that, and to more just to step into who you truly are and really embrace that, and not have any shame around it whatsoever. So to this day, I still get comments about, my appearance, my clothing, even from the family that I was raised in. My mom was raised with all three boys, so she was the only girl, and she is very like a tomboy type of dresser, but you know what? This is just innate in me. Ever since I was a little girl, I loved the feminine, all things feminine. I loved hats. So I would always love, like, Easter time would roll around and I would be so excited. I get to wear a hat and a pretty frilly dress to church. Yay. Yay me. I'm so happy. And, but I was, so I've always been that way. But even to this day, like whenever I go to visit my family or something, I might have a nice dress on, and I don't even fit in there, and so, I'll get comments like, wow, well, you're dressed really nice, or, have you worn that all day? Did you wear that skirt and top all day? Yeah, I did. And it felt great, So again, sometimes the unsolicited comments or whatever can make us feel maybe like we're outsiders or somehow don't fit in. I don't think that's necessarily where they're always coming from, but again, just I encourage all of you, like, just embrace who you are, every aspect of who you are, and for all of us to try as hard as we can to accept one another and embrace one another and not put those artistic molds on each other, because I also think we need some more normal, healthy artists in the world, don't you? I think that's a great thing and a beautiful thing. We're kind of busting some of these artist myths that you have to be mentally unstable, or maybe the more mentally unstable you are, the more creative you are, So anyways, my dear art friends, I hope that this has been enjoyable to you. I'd love to hear your experience with some of these artist molds, so you can leave a comment below or shoot an email to info@artlifewithkelly, KELLI.com, and I look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, I wish you all happy painting, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.